Hi guys, so I wanted to make a video on how I passed an NASM CPT exam on my first try. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about other people who took their exam, and it definitely helped me kind of see what questions would be on the exam and use a lot of their study guides and study tips. So I'll definitely link their videos in the description below, so you guys can reference those because it definitely helped me a lot. So just to start off, I bought the online version of the material. So I didn't get the paper, the hard copy textbook. I just read all the material online, and I bought it back in June. And I did start reading it, but I wasn't super serious about it. Life happened, so I just didn't really focus on it until maybe a month or two before my exam. So I got really serious about studying for it in October, November. So I think a month or two was definitely more than enough. I think a day or two prior to the exam, I just felt ready, so I just didn't want to overwhelm myself with too much information. I didn't want to cram. I just took a break. I watched a movie the night before and just took it really easy the day of the exam because I do get very anxious. I'm not a good test taker. I have a lot of anxiety even while taking the exam. The first two questions I was like, what the hell? So I had to start breathing and doing breathing techniques. But I think I bought the exam for about $700, and NASM's always doing discounted prices, so don't pay for the full price. I think it was suggested to me to call them and ask if they're doing some type of promotion, because they're always doing some type of discounted prices. So yeah, definitely take advantage of that. It's not worth paying for the full course. So on the day of the exam, she made me take my laptop and show all four corners of the room, as well as what's underneath the table, what's on the table. I studied 1 or 2 months prior to my exam. Everybody is different. If you have kids, if you have a full-time job, it's definitely harder to do that. So just know yourself, be realistic with how much time you need to study. I don't suggest cramming for it, just because it is a lot of material. The practice questions definitely do not match what's on the exam. It's a lot of situational questions. So say you're a coach and you're trying to cue your client, or if a client comes to you and they have a question about form, you definitely need to know how to cue them. I actually got a lot of situational questions. It wasn't the questions they asked in the practice exams, such as what is the definition of this term, or I felt those questions you get asked at the end of each section. I feel those were so easy because you had just read the material. So of course it's, even if you even if you don't know the answer to the question, it's just going to be whatever vocabulary word you just read, because it's part of that chapter. So I felt those questions were not good ways to gauge your understanding of the chapter. So for all these section exams, I got 80s except for one chapter. I think I got a 70, 75 or something like that. Which was fine because I still ended up passing. I think from what I was told, you definitely want to get an 80 at least in all the section practice exams to assess your readiness level. I mean, for one of them, I didn't do an 80, so I don't know. I don't know if that helps anybody. So how I studied, I use like Poke Muscle, which I'll always also link down below. They don't really require that you know the anatomy of all the muscles, but I feel like as a personal trainer, you definitely should know where the muscles are, because in order to be a good trainer, you need to know like what muscles need to be stretched, which muscles need to be strengthened, which goes into the underactive and overactive muscles. So I definitely think you should have an understanding where the muscles are, especially when you're trying to like cue the client, and like you can't just like not know what body part it is. I don't know. For me, like I feel like you should be an expert in that field, so I personally think you should know it. Yeah, I guess like just going into the exam, just think of it like if you were a coach, like how would you, if you wanted to be like the best coach out there, how would you help your clients, right? So if you want to like maybe take a family member or like a friend to the gym and maybe like create a program for them, like start doing that. Or like when I would go to the gym, I would like start paying attention to other people who were exercising and just watch their form, and I started noticing a lot of incorrect form, or some of them had really good form. So it was really interesting to see like how I could apply my knowledge from the textbook into the real world. So kind of start doing that, like put yourself in the shoes of a coach, and start like reassessing clients, because the exam, I mean everyone's exam is different, but my exam had a lot of questions on progressions. So it would be something like it would be like ABCD, like what is an example of an objective assessment, what is an example of a subjective assessment. Surprisingly, there were a lot of questions like that. I want to say like 10. From what I was told, like I was expecting a lot more OPT model questions and underactive, overactive questions. But don't get me wrong, there were questions like that on the exam. Like, so definitely know the OPT model, like the back of your hand. The overactive, underactive muscles, you definitely need to know. But I feel like there were a lot of assessment questions, which was really interesting. So the study guides that I had was from this YouTuber that I will link her YouTube channel below. I'm gonna link all the YouTube channels that like helped me, because if it weren't for you guys, I don't know if I would have passed. But I made this like OPT model. So it has like all of the 5 phases, the tempos, the rest periods, how many sets you should do, and then the intensity level. So they will definitely ask you about the intensity level, so definitely know that. But there were also a lot of questions about like what types of workout programs they should do. So it was like, in this situation, if a client wanted to, gets bored and wants like variety of exercises, what type of exercise plan would you make? Would it be like horizontal, vertical, pyramid, something like that? So definitely make sure to know that like in and out, because I probably saw maybe like 3 questions like that. And for the overhead squat, the overactive and underactive muscles, this girl on YouTube definitely helped me a lot. So she made like mnemonic devices, quick effective way to like memorize them, right? So you have pronation distortion syndrome. So like I wrote down like overactive, underactive muscles. So I think like every night before bed I would kind of like glance at it, because I am a visual learner but I'm also an auditory learner. So for me it helps to like see the material a few times, because in my head, like when I'm taking an exam, I'll just refer to that study guide and be like, oh yeah, it was like over there. So I don't know, that's just like how I remember things. Everyone's different, but I'm also an auditory learner, so it helps me like to watch YouTube videos and go to lecture, and just like in college when I would go to lecture, I would just listen and then I would just like pass the exam, because yeah, I'm auditory and visual learner, I guess. Let me see. There weren't a lot of questions on nutrition or supplements. Yeah, they didn't ask me. I think NASM just wants you to get like the nutrition certificate. They want you to constantly keep getting the new certificates. So don't fall for that. I feel like if you are good at what you do and you can provide your clients with some value, they don't care about what certificates you have as long as you can give them the results that they're looking for, right? Let's see. Definitely know the exercise progressions. So I believe it was section 4, where you're learning like SAQ drills, core exercises, balance, plyo. Definitely know progressions and regressions because I got questions about that. So I kind of like wrote down exercise progressions for like stability, strength, and power for core, balance, and plyo. And yeah, it just helped me like to look at that. Also, make sure you know all the exercises that are in the book because they'll definitely ask you that. And then you know how like at the bottom of every picture it has like little cues. Definitely know that. I was surprised there were a lot of questions about that. So I mean, once again, just think of it like if you were a coach and you were cueing your client, you were telling them like how to perform a certain exercise. What tips would you give them? How would you give directions to make sure they have proper form, right? And there was this other girl that really helped me on YouTube. She had like all of the mnemonic devices for like overhead squat. If a client is doing overhead squat and they have excessive forward lean, they will ask you like what are some sample strengthening exercises. I'm gonna link her page too, and I just like created my own, but basically I copied her. I just like to like write stuff down. So this is what it looks like. It has mnemonic devices such as like if your arms are falling forward during overhead squat, the mnemonic she used was after a few flasks he shouted, "Let's throw a party because we need more R&R." So for the overactive muscles, they are the lat dorsi, teres major, pecs, and then underactive would be mid-lower traps, rhomboids, and rotators. So, and then the sample strengthening exercise would be the squat to row, and you just want to foam roll your spine, your lats, and static pec wall stretch, as well as the static lat dorsi ball stretch. So that definitely helped a lot because there were questions about that. And I will link their videos down below. There's also another guy on YouTube. His name is Chris. And his YouTube channel is Showa Fitness. He definitely helped me a lot. I think he like breaks down the information really easily. He's really good at what he does. He definitely makes it really helpful, easy to understand. And then I think his like partner Megan, I'll also link her YouTube down below. She had really helpful videos. I watched all of them, so definitely check those out. I did actually buy his study guide, which was really helpful because the book does have a lot of material. So don't study all of it because there's gonna be things that are not on there, right? It'll just be a waste. But I think his study guide definitely broke it down in a way that told me like what I needed to focus on. Also know the 3 ways that APTs created. Really understand the process because they will definitely ask you questions on that. Know the OPT model inside and out. What phases of the OPT model should you take them through if a client wants to gain muscle? How would you guide them through that? What exercises would you make for them? So just put yourself in the shoes of a coach, and I think you should be good. So these are all the tips that helped me. Once again, I'm just gonna give a shout out to all the YouTubers out there that helped. I'm gonna link all their channels below, and if you can like, subscribe, and comment on my video. If you had any helpful tips to help you pass your exam, that would be great, because when I was studying, I would like look at all the videos and like read the comments to see, you know, what people were saying. So you know, as long as it helps like someone else, I think we should pass on that information. So I really hope to see you guys in the next one, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.